Hi, this is Miss KJ. I'm here, and if you've completed worksheets 6-5, A, B, and C, then you're ready to do the extension problems, and you should have 6-5 extension. I'm here to explain number 1, so follow along in the video, and after I've done number 1, I'd like you to do number 2. So first, let's look at our equation that we have, the square root of 4x minus 3 equal x. Notice that the square root is isolated, so we're now going to undo that square root. How do we undo a square root? We have to square both sides. So I'm going to square my left side of my equation, then square the right side of my equation. Now I'm going to make sure that I put my line down the center of my equal sign so I can keep my left and right straight. And now, when I do that, this square now undoes my square root, and I'm going to get the expression that's under the radical, 4x minus 3. Now, when I square x squared on the right side, I'll just get x squared. Notice now in this step, we have a special type of equation. This is called a quadratic equation. So, what we want to do now is, to be able to solve this equation, we want to set the left-hand side equal to 0. So that means that we're going to have to undo our 4x and undo our negative 3. So what undoes a 4x? A minus 4x. So I'm going to subtract that on this side and the left side and the right side. What undoes a minus 3? Of course, a plus 3. So I'm going to add that plus 3 to both sides. Let's see what we have. So now these 4x's will cancel. My negative 3 plus 3 will cancel. I get 0 equals, and now I have the quadratic equation x squared minus 4x plus 3. Whoa, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, everybody see that now? Okay, here we go. So in this quadratic equation, we've learned several methods on how to solve quadratic equations, but we're going to use the factoring method. So to be able to factor this, what we're going to do is, we're going to, of course, keep this equal to 0, and we're going to take our two linear factors and figure out what will go in here. So, of course, if this is an x squared, I need both of these to be x's. So now my job is to figure out what are the two factors I need here that are going to multiply to give me 3, and when I add them, give me a negative 4. Now, we've learned several methods on how to do this. One is the box method. So I'm going to use the little box to help me figure this out. So what I'm going to do is make my box, put my x squared here, and that's where my x's come. Put my 3 here. Now notice that I need two factors of negative 3, or I'm sorry, two factors of positive 3. When I add them, give me a negative 4. So that would be a negative 3 and a minus 1. So this would give me what I need. So my two factors are going to be x minus 1 and x minus 3. So now that I have the expression factored, I'm going to take each of those factors and set them equal to 0 to get my solutions. So x minus 1 equals 0 is going to be one of my solutions. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So one of my solutions would be x equal 1. Okay? And then the other one, which is x minus 3 equals 0, I'm going to then add 3 to both sides. And then I get x equals 3. So I have two solutions. So now the next part of my job is to see if both of these solutions work. So let's try the 1. So if I go back to my original equation, the square root of 4x minus 3, that has to equal x. So now let's go down here and see if I plug in x, that works. So I'm going to put the square root, 4, put my 1 in there, then do my minus 3 equals my 1. Okay, so the square root of 4 minus 3, which is 1, the square root of 1 equal 1. That checks, all right? Okay, now let's check the 3. So if I put in square root and I put 4, put my 3 in there, minus 3, and that has to equal 3. Let's see if that works. That would be the square root of 12 minus 3, which is 9, and that equals 3. The square root of 9 is 3, so that also checks. So I have two solutions to this equation. So one of my solutions is x equal 1. The other solution is x equal 3. Now, not all the time will both solutions work. You have to check both. In this case, we had both of them work, but sometimes one of them will work and one of them won't. If that happens, we call that an extraneous solutions. So make sure you watch out for those extraneous solutions, because that's why we have to check at the end. So now let's try number 2 and see if you can apply this method to solve the next equation.